Hello and welcome back to this session's second demonstration. In this demonstration I'm going to actually add in some JavaScript and we're going to look at it to do with events. When I left you from the previous demonstration we had line 21 on this page, and in line 21 we actually have the link to the JavaScript page, the login.js, and this is on some of the stuff that we have here. Now, when a form is submitted through the submit button, it triggers what we call the submit event. There's lots of different events in JavaScript, and when we do the events lesson we'll go into that in more detail. It's just enough for you to know that there is these things called events, and that with JavaScript we can capture them and then we can actually do something with them. So let's go to the JavaScript, oh not that one, the JavaScript file. The previous one was the CSS. So on here I'm going to start by actually writing our listener. Now what our listener does is it's like the initiation of the function or the initiation of the script, and we're just going to write a init. And I'm going to use strict, which I'll explain in another lesson, but it's a good thing to have there. In this line I need to confirm the document.getElement by ID can be used, so I use an if statement to say that. So it can either be document and document.getElement by ID. This is a function, and then inside here I'm looking at creating a variable called var login form, form, and I'm going to assign document.getElement by ID to the form. Now getElement by ID is a JavaScript function or method to do with the document object model, a DOM method. I'm now going to put the event that I want to listen for. In this case it's the onSubmit, and then I'm going to have it call another function called validate form. But we haven't written that yet, but we will. So that's the end of my if statement, and that's the end of my init. And to call it, I just need to go window.onLoad, which is another event, which is the loading of the page, and then I just call the init function. So now I have to write the validate function. So I use the keyword function, validate form, and then I write my function. I'm just going to make sure I don't forget to close it. Again, I'm going to use strict, and this basically means use strict JavaScript syntax. I'm now going to get my variables, so I'm checking to see that there is something in the email and there's something in the password, so that's the required fields. Document.get ID, oops, and we're looking for the email. Finish the line with a semicolon. Do the same for password. Okay, so now that I've got those two pieces in place, I'm now going to actually validate it. So I'm going to use another if statement or conditional statement, and I'm just going to look at the value. So email is an object, or can be considered an object, so object variable. So now we're looking at the some properties of it. So the value, that's what's inside the form field, and its length, and I've got to look for password .value .length. Okay, and the important things I want to do with these two lengths is to make sure they're greater than 0. Okay, greater than 0. And on this side is greater than 0. Close off that whole equation or thing. If it's true, it returns true. Remember, true is a Boolean type. Else, I'm going to put in an alert. Put it in a string, please. Complete the form. And then I'm going to return false because it's not completely filled out. And that's all there is to this form. I'm just going to save it. So starting from the bottom, I've got a window.onload event where I'm calling a function, the init function. In here I have the init function, which is basically saying, is the logon form being submitted? And if it's been submitted through the onSubmit function event, then I want to go and do this validation. I'm just going to take a short pause while I bring up the other window with the form in it, in the browser window, and then I'll demonstrate how it's working. Well, after that short pause, I now have the web page up and running, and as you can see, we've got some styling happening for the logon, and we have the email address here and the password and the login. If I click the login like this at the moment, I get an alert that says please complete the form because it's not completely in there. However, when I put my email address in there, and I'll just put in a password and then I go login, it goes to a PHP page that I don't have. However, you can see that even if I do this, it says I have to complete the form because we have the and in there. So that's it for the quick demonstration. This is a very basic validation. It just means that have you put something in the form or not. We're going to go on to tools of the trade next and have a look at a few IDEs or development environments, and that will be in a presentation, PowerPoint presentation. But after that, may have some exercises to do, or you may want to look at these again. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.